helps because I think of all the board members since we've started, I don't think Tom's ever missed a meeting. So, very nicely. Okay. This meeting is of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is time for the public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda by agenda items remarks to the public. And roll call, please.
Mrs. DeTore? Here. Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Here.
Dr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Thorson?
Here. Pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda items and addenda items, please?
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
We
Yeah.
have, we had duplications when we were sent in the agenda package. So on your table, you have the actual, the one that you should be voting on tonight. So Mr. Rico's, the differences between the two, Mr. Rico's retirement will be June 3rd. Ms. Crummell is not at Lindsay, not at Westwood, she's at Lindsay. And Ms. I believe Deborah Robb has already retired, so she should not be on the continuing contract. Just so you're clear, the ones you have printed out is the one you should be voting
And I have an item I'd like to add to the agenda, which is to join the Alliance for High Quality Education, renew our membership, which is lapsed.
Where would you like to put that?
I think we can put that in new business.
Okay, we'll make it item A. And this is to join, what is the
The Alliance for High Quality Education.
Any more discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Dr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore? Yes. Mr. Douglas?
Yes. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the meeting notes, meeting minutes of March 23rd, 2015, regular meeting, March 31st, 2015, a special meeting, and April 15th, 2015, a work session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I was absent from those meetings. Should we break it out and you guys vote on that one separately?
You can still vote on it.
I can still vote on it, okay. I just feel it's more appropriate not to, but that's fine.
Would you feel more comfortable breaking them out then?
I would, it's just a, yeah.
Well,
I-
then
you
you
know
should
what,
do them all
well, then we do them
separately,
separately.
because I think each of us
Could we do them separately? Because then anyone who wasn't here can abstain and
You're
just.
voting on the minutes, the
Right.
record of the minutes.
Right.
So you can do that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of March 23rd, 2015 regular meeting? I'll second it because I was at that meeting. Any discussion? Roll call.
Dr. Fox?
Yeah.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore? Yes. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Abstain.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve March 31st, 2015 special meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore? Yes. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Dr. Fox?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve April 15th, 2015 work sessions?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore? Yes. Mr. Douglas?
Abstain.
Mr. Kwiatkowski?
Yes.
Dr. Hope?
Yes.
Okay. Superintendent's report, recognition awards.
Thank you. Before we start on that, just there was in your packet, there was a date change on the staff appreciation week. Breakfast will be available for the staff, and the following days are in there. Just there's a change from Monday to Friday,
It's this Friday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
May 1st. Correct. So, it'll be staff appreciation week, May 4th and 8th. So, all staff, thank you. We appreciate it. So we appreciate that dedication. Now I want to take time to recognize our kids at the art awards, and so you have the certificates, and if the principal would want to do this as a group. Sure. A group photo.
Why don't you bring them up if you want?
Sure. Bring your kids up and we'll get a
Take
photo.
it easy here, so I'll get all the elementary kids up. So, you want to do it all together, or just do elementary in the middle, right?
Why don't we do elementary, middle, and high school if we can?
Okay, I'll start. I have from Westwood, I know, is it Hope Carty? Come on up, Hope. Hope's in second grade at Westwood, so Denise couldn't make it, so I'm here to introduce her. From Lindsay, we have Natalie Tacklett, third grade. Go ahead. Joshua Erb, fourth grade. And Ray Airbar, somewhere here. There she is. Come on up.
Okay, so Hope's Award is for the Youth Art Month exhibit for Case Western Reserve University. Very nice job, thank you. And Natalie, yours was for State Teachers Retirement and Building in Columbus for the art show as well. Okay, I'm sorry, Natalie. You guys switched on me, you gotta move this one. Okay. Joshua, yours was in the Rhodes Office Tower for your exhibit. And Ray? Yours was in Case Western Reserve University. Nice job, guys.
Is that all the elementary, right?
That's it.
Wait,
There you
one
go.
group
Good
photo.
job, guys.
One group
You guys
photo.
photo.
Come on back.
Come back.
Come on back.
Just get a portrait of the principal on one group photo there. There you go.
Have a smile.
Okay, ready? Thanks, Ray. Gotta get you a little closer, take your words, There you go. We're gonna have to teach them, because I got a feeling they're gonna be doing this a lot.
Good work, guys.
Nice job, guys.
It's funny how much taller Ron was.
And a short president.
Very good. From the middle school, we have Ellie Angle.
And then we also had Shannon, who was unable to attend, Shannon
Swinnerton.
Swinnerton. So we may, picture. Thank you very much for showing up and participating, and thank you for showing West Geauga off in Columbus. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all your hard work. If you guys would like to go, this becomes a long and probably boring meeting. Thank you so very much for your participation. Thank you for making West Geauga look good. Can we give them a hand? Please.
Oh, wait, Ron, we didn't meet you. Okay, we're going to move into the remarks of the public. At this time, if anybody would like to come up and sign, we have Patty Bauer. Patty?
I just wanted to ask why the email that came to the board regarding the litter in the fenced area wasn't addressed.
You weren't at our last board meeting.
I read the article in the paper, and I just wondered why it ended up as being an article in the newspaper.
Sure, I'll continue with what I was saying. You weren't at the last board meeting, and actually, we had brought that up to our business manager, and we've come up with some solutions to tackle that. It was put in the paper, and I will apologize, I didn't read the article, but that particular topic, we talked about as a board, we talked to Jim Russo, our business manager, and he's coming up with some solutions so that we can kind of eliminate that.
Well, I'd like to offer a couple suggestions, just suggestions. Either have the Saturday in-school suspension kids go out there on Saturdays.
Sort of a chain gang.
Yeah, have the teacher that supervise them out there, check them in and out so they can get out through the woods. Or have the teams that use the field go out there instead of practicing one day. That's all.
Okay, superintendent's recommendation. Do I have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations?
So moved.
Second. Okay. Mr. Dyer?
Yes, thank you. The first one on there is item A, which is personnel, and those are your staff resignations, retirement, change in the contract, homes is the effective retirement date. The list is long when some of these change of contracts, people move from probationary periods to limited contracts. And then we've got, one on item 5 was a change from Westwood to Linden, where the assignment was on long-term sub. And then we've got our trip advisors, there's a trip advisors. Before they go on the trip, they need to be board approved, they all have to have a BCA and background checks. That's your basic personnel is on every month, just a little longer because of the trip. 15 and 16. Item B is your certified contracts, and item C are your 2015 classified contracts. Item D are your resolutions to abolish certified and licensed positions, suspend employment contracts. That is the resolution to abolish the 3 positions, which were 2 full-time intervention specialists, 1 elementary teaching position, and 1 intervention specialist tutor. This is part of that reduction in force that was initiated. The number was much higher at one time with nutrition retirements. We were able to scale that way back. That we were fortunate for that. So it affects 4 people, and those people are on the list as well in the second resolution. So that's questions on that?
Yes. Why are we abolishing the position? Because often we simply not filled it. We've done the reduction in force, but then in turn not filled the position. So is there a reason for?
We have to abolish the position. Over the years when we do RIFs, we have to abolish the position to be able to put it on the recall list. Because their contract is suspended, so we abolish that position they currently hold, and suspend the contract in time. They go on recall list.
And why not just not fill? Why not just renew the contract? I mean, why do we go through abolishing the position, Sarah?
Because it doesn't exist anymore because of the reduction. So that, like for example, with 2 intervention specialists, those positions don't exist because their contracts have been abolished and suspended. The position itself doesn't exist because the contract is suspended.
If the position existed, then they would be, someone would have to be either them or someone else.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just asking, because in the past, what WestGBrd has done is simply not renewed the contract, not filled the position. The position existed, but it was empty.
Yeah,
So-
so these are licensed positions. Technically, you should have to abolish the position and suspend the contract. It's similar to,
Yeah.
you may see somebody get another contract that has on the RIF list, because you have to have a contract to suspend. There's a lot of nuances with that, but that's basically what happens. You have to have the position abolished. That triggers the suspension of the contract.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm
Yeah,
just curious as to.
I've unfortunately done this many places.
Yeah.
It's the way it's that's one.
Yeah. Good. Thanks, Mike.
Item B is the school year calendar proposal. It is on the agenda, anxiously awaiting the vote. A lot of people worked on this. The only difference is that the one day after January. If you look at your, it would be January 4th, 3rd? 4th. That's the date. It's similar to the contract we discussed at our workshop. The only difference is the January 4th date, because contractually they need that day off from their exams. And then Mr. Russo is asking that he has the availability to request advertised bids for some renovations in high school. Okay?
Yeah. The request to advertise, I mean, clearly I understand what it means, but is there no documentation in our,
Because all he wants to do, and that's why I've read this off from Mr. Russo, yeah, basically what Mr. Russo, like, he just wants permission from the board to go out for bid renovations of the high school, and those are, it's a project which will include opening the serving line, installing new ceiling panel light fixtures. So that's it. It was pretty simple. I mean, you couldn't be here this evening, so that was the first reason, but
well, he talked with us about it last time, but I didn't know if there was a resolution or anything.
no, it was just, once he gets the bids, he just wants your permission to go out. Once he gets it, he'll come back and explain in greater detail, like a pre-bid. We talked a lot about this at the work session, but that's. There you go.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore? Yes. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski?
Yes.
Okay, treasurer's report?
So look at your treasurer's report, report A. This is our bank accounts and our investments we have available to us. Star Ohio has about $7.8 million. This was, the money came in at the very end of the month and it was transferred to a higher yield account. First National has approximately $10 million. We have approximately $18 million in our accounts as of the end of March. If you look at report B, this is our reconciliation. You'll see that the same $88,000 there at the end. That is our general ledger balance. The peak balance, the $18,092,000, will match your Fed and Sum report. The reconciling items are $3,200 for some of our petty cash funds that we have available to us. Treasurer's report C, this is our listing of the approved funds that we've received for auxiliary and our federal grants, along with some other grants and awards that we have available to us. This is the last part of the auxiliary grants. Those are everything that we're going to receive. Those are monies that we have as a conduit for the active agent for Hawkins and St. Anselm. Our federal grants will receive additional funds for those monies. They'll be coming in probably until the end of September. Those grants will run. We can charge things through there so September. And then we have no additional foundation awards. We did get one grant, $1,800 grant to protect our winters grant. That was in addition in March. Our report D, this is our operations report. This is an analysis of our projected budget year-to-date and our actual year-to-date. You can see that in total, we are, for total revenues, we're about $192,000 ahead. This is going to drop in April. In March, the end of March and 1st February, you get a true-up of all the funds, and we'll lose a little bit of those funding, in particular for our SEO. Won't get as much money. There's a couple of things that we have to look at. So some of our tuition between schools, we won't get that money. So what it does is they pay us based on last year's numbers, and they true them up in March once everybody gets their EMIS data in, and we had a little change in the variance of those things. So in April, we'll give you a better idea of what we're looking at. But we had additional And we'll see that as we come down into purchase services. I'll talk a little bit about that as
Will
well.
that variance be favorable or no?
No, it's not. We will be, I think we'll still be on target for budget for revenues. As you can see on the expenditures, we're ahead of budget. Some of that will go away. We're looking at, if we look at the purchase service line, we have about $625,000 variance. Part of that will be addressed in the true-up. And what we're seeing in the vocational area, we're seeing a large increase. We're also seeing a large increase in our tuition for our community schools. And we're also seeing a large increase for our PA SEO accounts. So those things are a little bit of a difference here that we're seeing. And I can tell you.
What accounts for that variance? I mean, when you
Well,
say.
we don't know until we know, like, let's take the high school for a bit, vocational. We estimate what the vocational, how many people are going to attend the vocational programs based on juniors going, sophomores going in. So we don't know until they actually sign up to do that. So we had estimated the vocational will be ahead of that. So we're going to be about $100,000 ahead. But if we look at scholarship transfers, the John Peterson Scholarship, which is a scholarship that, let's say that you have someone who's attending is in our district, but they attend a non-public school, but they're still in our district, they are on an IEP, they can apply for the John Peterson Scholarship. And we had estimated about $115,000 based on prior year, and we're ended up at $233,000. So we're going to end up in April. If we look at our community schools, these are students that are at home or taking classes online. We had estimated that to be about $120,000 based on last year, and we're at $171,000. So we don't know until they sign up for classes. And in our tuition between other school districts, we had estimated a little bit higher, about $150,000 higher there that we're not going to see.
Okay.
So those will be trued up in April. We'll have a very good idea, but that's going to eat into that purchase services number and savings that we'll have. So we'll have still a savings. We'll be favorable on our expenditures, and we'll be on target for our revenue. So I'll still anticipate us being ahead of what our budget had said. So we will still continue to be ahead in benefits. You'll see that we have our personnel services. We're have an unfavorable variance. We had talked about that before. We had some unexpected retirements during the middle of the year for our classified staff. They are allowed to be paid out their severance pay during the year. We had a an increase in our transportation subs, and we had an increase in some of the other subs that we had. And then we had two positions that were made permanent. They were temporary positions before, now they've been made permanent. So that's what's accounting for that unfavorable variance. April will be, we should be in good shape. I think we'll continue on a positive note. You have a report E, which is just for the month of March. It just shows you the variances that we have on a month-to-month basis based on our budget. So the negative variance in the benefits is because we had paid it. We paid two payments in March instead of one, because we missed it, but they can get our invoice to us until February, so we didn't pay it till March 1st. So we're doing March. Report F is our food services report. We had a very good month in revenues. A lot of collections for student lunches were made in March, and this is when they come in. Everybody's loading up their accounts at the end of the year, so we had a good month. We're still a positive on a year-to-date basis when we compare ourselves to 2014. We're $21,000 ahead of what we were last year. We are slightly down, or slightly unfavorable variance in our expenditures, but overall, a positive overall variance on our food services. We're still, unfortunately, losing money, but we're still losing. At this time, we had lost about $25,000 last year, and today we've only lost 12. So we're getting closer. We might different funds, including the general fund, which is our largest fund balance. That's fine.
recommendation for the, do I have a motion for the treasurer's recommendations? Do I have a second?
In the recommendations, you have a listing of all the March checks that were issued. We had $2.6 million issued in the month of March. We have the then and now statements, or the now and ends, people, the way people want to say it. These are invoices that we received prior to purchase order. The light board repair, we're going to see a couple of these. The one, we had a new teacher that was doing the musical for the high school, and paperwork was not timely. So we're going to have a few of those come through this year and this month and next month. But we've worked with them, and Joyce Loretta has also worked with her, so we'll get that straightened out for next year. We had a light pole. This was the illuminated company. We had run out of money on one purchase order. We issued a new purchase order, and in the meantime, there was a bill that came through, so that's why that is there. And in modern music, we had just a like $60 if you have all of those. You have supplemental appropriations for Class Act, $2,500. Class Act is going to be performing at the Indians game. I think there's 122, 125 parents going, so they're collecting money so that they can pay for those Indians tickets. And then Westwood has their annual yearbook that they have that will be in place. So that's the money that they would like to collect for the yearbook. Item E is the contract with Ray and Associates. This is our compilation. What they do is they do our gap conversion for our CAPR, which is our comprehensive annual financial report. So they help us with that compilation. So that is a 3-year contract. This is they have a slight increase, $500 increase from last year because we have a new gap conversion, gap 34. It will go down after that. So it's a one-time increase, and then we'll reduce that down. That is all, Mr. President.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Okay, standing committees. Do we have any board members that had a committee meeting? No? Okay. New business.
Okay.
Item A.
Item
Mr.
A,
Katsowski, what do you
yes,
got?
of the many items, yes. I move.
Motion to approve.
Membership.
That we were discussing first, but okay.
Yeah, I move that we approve membership renewal in the Alliance for High Quality Education.
Okay, do I have a second?
A second.
Any discussion?
Okay. As you know, I'm sure, the state has been really playing a lot of games with funding of public education, as is sort of the norm. But the way that we have a voice in Columbus has been through the Alliance for High Quality Education. The reason that particular group is they represent over 60 schools which are in a similar position to us. They would not be beneficiaries, in fact, would be net losers in most of the proposed changes to school funding. And the value of this to us, as opposed to us simply going to a legislator and explaining our particular situation, is, first of all, the legislators have to work with their leadership. And so that person may not have the access that we need, may not be able to build that kind of consensus among legislators. So what the Alliance does is they will pair our concerns with the concerns of other legislators so that it gets a fair hearing. So for instance, if someone down in Defiance, say, has an issue on funding, they could pair it with ours under the guarantee, because, you know, with the recent proposals to cut the guarantee, we would ultimately, you know, lose, what, $1.5 million, Karen? 750 over 2 years? Okay. So everyone, though, is not in a net loss position on the guarantee. And so what the Alliance does is they will put together a coalition of people who have like interests in seeing things like, you know, if you've got the TPP, for instance, we didn't lose an awfully lot there. We lost something. It's never good to lose funding, but we didn't lose a lot. But there are some districts that lost an enormous amount of money. So they will, for instance, connect that concern to our concern, and you'll then have more legislators who are interested in acting, and you'll hopefully have people at a higher leadership level who are interested in acting on these issues. They see that there's a constituency and that their constituency is hit by it. So for instance, Tony Potaggio pointed out that our state senator was not aware of how these changes would impact West Geauga. And fortunately, he was able to alert him to that. So that's the kind of thing that the Alliance does for us. And it's $3,800 a year. If we rejoin, we'll be rejoined immediately, but the fee will count toward next year. So in essence, we get 6 months free, or, you know, maybe more like 8 months free. So we got a little free grace period out of this too, so it's a good time to rejoin.
So it doesn't run, it runs January to January, it doesn't run, at one point I thought it was June or
Oh, maybe
July.
maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong about this,
I
Karen?
think it's
It is
July.
Okay, so we don't get.
So you get 2
yeah,
months.
So we get a
or
couple
3
months free, yeah, which is bad. Not as good as I thought it was, but it's not bad.
Do you know, Ben, the other schools that are involved in this?
I could get you a list pretty easily, but essentially, they would be the 60 schools who are the highest academic performing schools, not exclusively, but primarily, because those are the schools that tend to have higher funding and tend to have more to lose by some of the more radical changes to the funding system. So, you know, you could look toward that. That's essentially where the constituency is for this.
Did you guys use Alliance and Chagrin? You did. And what districts did you use?
We did.
All of the districts you worked with used it?
No, this is the last district that I was actually the representative from Seneca Castle from Northeast Sun to replace. A couple of districts I've been in, we were financially well off to join the Alliance, but one district no. We didn't. The Alliance sort of, their focus would be the top 1%, from a property value standpoint, which, correlation sometimes becomes your higher ranking schools academically, overall being. So they represent those.
So you would think it's a good recommendation to renew?
I do. I was part of it when I was in the district. I think it's a good organization. We got Jim Betts, Tony Potter, and some of those guys down there that can get some things done. Kevin Boyce. Your Northeast rep, who replaced me, the Northeast rep, the superintendent that represents Tony and Jim for your area.
Why did we stop doing this? Well, I know, but what was the rationale when we did that? When we stopped this?
There was a question on the part of one board member as to what we were getting for our money. And I think the recent massive changes proposed really show us why this is in fact important. So,
How do they endorse communicate to the board and they consider it part of the feedback on what they're working on or what?
yeah, more than quarterly. In essence, things like this, which I passed out, and they basically give a report on what's going on. They give a report on what the concerns are, and you can also, give a call, because since Tony Potaggio is from our district, he's always there to listen to us. I'm sure he'd listen to anyone, but boards that he represents, but, you know, he's got a particular attachment to us, so I think we get a good hearing from him anytime we needed additional information.
Did we discuss this at the April 15th meeting? That was the meeting I wasn't present.
Yeah, that must have been the one discussed a bit.
The doctor probably will comment.
No, they met, Karen and Ben met with him, you know, on their own, and then he's bringing back, you know.
He's welcome, he's offered to come and
Well, since the contract doesn't start in June, would there be any opposition to having him come in June, then, or excuse me, in May to address the board, to ask some of those questions?
Well, that would certainly work if you have further questions you want to ask. I mean,
Because our contract would be from
yeah.
June to June, right? I mean,
Well, we'd be renewed as of now, and so we, you know, as I said, we get those couple months free. The reason I'd like to see us renew now is because there are a lot of changes going on at the state, and I want to be sure that our interests are protected. Because, you know, as you saw, I mean, we could have lost a massive amount of funding, and we still may, we don't know, because none of this is final. This particular sheet that I passed out only is about the what happened in committee. This is not what happened on the floor, this is not what has happened in the Senate, and this is not the governor's response. So we're still at the very early stage of the budgeting process for the state. And, you know, that is why I'd like to see us renew that now and be represented, because we have major interests at stake right now.
But, you know, relevant to the vote or this, if you read through that, I mean, I read through this at the beginning while we were waiting. There's some eye openers in here that, yeah.
Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Dorsey?
I'm going to say no.
Mrs. Torrey?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
No.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Okay. Announcement of next board meeting will be a regular meeting at 7 p.m. May 13, 2015. It's in middle school right here in the community room. And do I have a motion to adjourn? Very good. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Okay, roll call? Yes.
Torrey?
Yeah.
Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.